Yo, what up, ladies and gentlemen? It's your boy Travis Blaze 12386, and I am fucking aggravated as fuck right now. One, I lost the very last of the footage for my LP, this LP of Depression Quest, so that's why I'm making this webcam video. When you're seeing me play this game, I am completely fucking bored and aggravated throughout the entirety of it. I understand that the game wasn't meant to be played for fun. Like, I get that. But, seriously, what it was supposed to do was no shit, like, try to help people better understand depression. I date a girl who suffers from depression, and I wanted to better myself by playing this game. And when I say it completely misses the fucking mark of what it's supposed to accomplish, it completely misses the fucking mark. Like the Vinatieri, or not the Vinatieri, the fucking Mike Vanderjagt field goal in the fucking '06 fucking playoff game against Pittsburgh. That's how fucking retarded this fucking game fucking is. Mike fucking Vanderjagt fucking retarded. This game this game fucking sucks. There's no way there's no other ways around it. It's not even a fucking game. It's like a fucking novel. A motherfucking shit fucking novel that fucking blows. Really fucking cunt of a fucking cheating fucking whore to get fucking pressed. Zoe Quinn. This game fucking sucks. Watch the footage. I'm out. Yo, holla at your boy, Travis Blaze 12386, coming at you live, yet again, through the power of Google Chrome today. I'm live from my chair, and one thing recently caught my attention, the whole Gamergate thing, which started because, this guy got his heart broken, apparently, wrote this long exposition about how this bitch was cheating on him with other dudes who worked for gaming publications and websites and whatnot. And she's been harassed daily, nonstop, whatever. And I don't care about all that. I just want to see what the whole big fuss is about, because apparently this game got good reviews. Depression Quest game about, I don't know, I guess depression, by Zoe Quinn, who apparently only got good reviews for this game because she was fucking blowing dicks or laying on her back. For anybody in the game journalism fucking industry, I hate to break it to you dudes, but there's no reason to harass a girl, whatever. What she did was admittedly wrong, but I hate to break it to you. It happens everywhere. I served in the Marine Corps for just under 4 years. I met a private female. She was busted down for PSC for going UDA for 60 days. UA is when you go AWOL, basically. You run away with no intention of coming back. She got picked up, came back, busted down, whatever. She goes on deployment. I see her a year later. She's a corporal. She went 3 ranks in a year. Now that's a little strange, a little awkward. How does something like that even occur? Probably because she was on her fucking knees and probably on her fucking back. It happens in almost every industry. The secretary you work with, she got a promotion to head of accounting or something. Probably because she fucked the boss. This is nothing new. It's something you gotta deal with. Gaming journalism is probably fucked like any other industry when it comes to women. But what can you do? There's really not much you can do about it. Just gotta roll with the punches. If that's how they want to get ahead in life, fuck it. Let them. Just work your ass off even harder. Go ahead, go make your own indie game. But don't blow dicks to fucking get ahead. I mean, it's unbecoming and whatnot, but there's really not much you can do about it. There really isn't. You see it all the time. This last job I got fired from, because this woman I worked with didn't like me for whatever reason. I don't know. She went to the boss, I don't know what she did. The boss basically fired me for really no fucking reason other than not getting along with the broad. That's nothing new. It's really nothing new. Did I hold it against her? Yeah, obviously. But did I threaten her? No. No point. I mean, if you want to change something, first off, going about it violently and trolling people is not the way to do it. It really isn't. It gets you nowhere in life. Gandhi once said, an eye for an eye leaves the whole world blind. He had a point. There's really no point to harass the girl, whatnot. I really don't give a fuck though. Do what you do, but it's not helping your cause. It makes you look fucking retarded. Gamergate is looking stupid. I appreciate what you're trying to do and try to change the game journalism industry so that there's no bias and whatnot. But by harassing people, you're not helping yourself. You're not endearing yourself to anybody. In fact, you're helping their cause. And then, amongst other things, you know. But I just wanted to see what this game was about, what the whole controversy was for. So let's jump into it. I'm your host for today, Travis Blaze, 12386. And here we go. Its emotional character is probably most indescribable, except as a sort of double bind in which any/all of the alternatives we associate with human agency, sitting or standing, doing or resting, speaking or keeping silent, living or dying, are not just unpleasant, but literally horrible. David Foster Wallace. Don't know who the fuck that is. Depression Quest is a game that deals with living depression in a very literal way. This game is not meant to be fun or lighthearted experience if you're currently suffering from the illness and are easily triggered. Please be aware this game uses stark depictions of people in very dark places. If you are suicidal, please stop playing this game and visit this link to talk to somebody. I'm not even sure if this game is a fucking game. It just looks like text. I understand that's what you had in like 1972, but we've come a long way. I mean, you could add like stick figures, a little graphics you could have fucking used, Photoshop, to make the game fucking better. I'm already pissed off. This game looks boring as shit. I date a girl who suffers from depression. I don't think this game. I really don't think I'm gonna get anything out of this. The goal of this game is twofold. Firstly, we want to illustrate as clearly as possible what depression is like, so that it may be better understood by people without depression. Hopefully, this can be something to spread awareness and fight against the social stigma and misunderstandings that depression sufferers face. Secondly, our hope is that presenting as real a simulation of depression as possible, other sufferers will come to know that they are not alone and hopefully derive some measure of comfort from that. It goes without saying that because the very nature of depression is experienced differently by every person who suffers from it, we aren't trying to say this is the best or most accurate representation, merely that this is an I don't know how to say that fucking word, I'm stupid, of the experience of the developers and several people close to them. Many of the following encounters deal with issues such as therapy, medication, handling love life, and reaching out to support networks. In reality, less than half of depression sufferers actually seek treatment for reasons such as lack of money, perceived personal failing, or public stigma. These things were included in order to touch upon as broad as possible, since all these elements can be very important to sufferers of depression, though they will not likely be the experience of most sufferers. It's important To recognize that not everyone with depression is so lucky. Many people with the illness don't have a lot of the luxuries that we have in this game. We've written in this way so that it's focused specifically on the illness, which becomes more and more difficult to deal with. As a person who is honest and last one off, for the reason, a portion of the proceeds from this game will be donated to the National Suicide Prevention Lifeline. Click here if you'd like to contribute. I'm broke as shit, otherwise I would. Like, I understand this disease somewhat. This game uses audio as part of its gameplay. We encourage you to play with your sound on. Thank you for playing. I'm already fucking depressed. Let's begin. It is early on a Monday morning. That sucks. You are a mid-20s human being. You have a significant other named Alex, who you are rather fond of, that you've been seeing exclusively for the past few months. The rest of your social circle consists of a variety of friends and acquaintances, some of who you met at your day job, which is a little boring but pays the rent. You like to be doing more with your life as would your parents, but you're still in the process of figuring out what that means and how to go about it. You are also dealing with motivation issues that sometimes makes dealing with these things difficult. You feel like this is probably your fault, and on bad days can feel inwardly angry and down on yourself for being lazy, but you're not quite sure how you can break out of it or other people deal with these feelings that seem so very functional. You spend a lot fixating on thinking about this, but never seem to do anything about it other than lose sleep. Next. I don't know what the hell that fucking means. It's an unseasonably warm Wednesday evening. You spend the last several hours at work. The past week or so, you've found your job motivation flagging more so than usual. You've been in fog practically all day, simply going through the motions without realizing, even when you've been doing half the time, blah blah. And yet, time seemed to be moving at half speed. You're so checked out that when your boss approaches you to tell you that it's dead and you can go home early, it barely registers. As you walk home, you need to take a break for a second. I'm bored already. The streets hiss from the recent rainfall. You know that your significant other will be in classes until late, another couple hours at least. You briefly consider the serendipitous solitude to catch up on a project you've been working on haphazardly for the past... What's all that stupid shit? Nothing. As soon as you think about the work that awaits you at home, you can feel the panic creeping in from the back of your brain, unbidden. All you can think about is how incredibly far behind you are, and the amount of work seems nothing less than insurmountable. Right. By the time you arrive home and change out of your uncomfortable clothes, distress is weighing you down on like a heavy wet wool blanket. Your computer seems to be staring you down from your desk. You want to sit down and work, but the mere thought of trying to work sent your stress level flying. More than anything, you feel suddenly absolutely exhausted and feel a strong desire to simply hide in your bed. Do you reluctantly sit down at your desk to try to make yourself do something? Turn on the TV, telling yourself you just need a quick half hour to unwind from work. Crawl into bed, you're so stressed and overwhelmed you possibly... you know how I would do this. You make a stop at your fridge, turn your favorite playlist on, and sit down and start working. You open up the last file you're working on, and as soon as your hands touch the keyboard, your mind goes blank. All the motivation ideas you had when you arrived home vanish in a flash. Your brain seizes up and you find yourself physically incapable of any sort of productive thought. You take a break to loosen up, popping into your email inbox, Twitter, and various other internet-based distractions. All that frustrating impact. Your brain diverts all its energy away from the task at hand while you keep flipping back to your work. You find the sheer mental effort involved in keeping your brain focused is overwhelming and tired. A few Twitter arguments, YouTube videos, or sparse amounts of actual work later, your playlist flips back to track 1 and the ice in your glass I wonder what track 1 would be. I mean, they had to leave it ambiguous just because copyright claims or what, which I'm probably going to be facing at some point or another. And the ice in your glass has all but melted, diluting the last dregs of the coke you were nursing. You look at the clock and realize that a few hours have passed since you sat down to work. You made negligible progress. I could just wake up early tomorrow and catch up. You think to yourself as you climb into bed, even though that never actually happens. You are very depressed. You spend a large amount of time sleeping, hating yourself, and have very little energy or motivation. You are currently not seeking a therapist. You are currently not taking medication for depression. I bet track 1 is like Taking Back Sunday or something. I don't know. It's a mild Friday afternoon. Alex calls you from one of her classes, telling you that it's going to be a really awesome birthday party tonight at her apartment that one of her roommates is throwing. You've hung out with friends a few times with Alex and you get along well enough but aren't particularly close. You don't have work in the morning and have nothing else particular to do tonight. You're feeling kind of run down, but you have been fatigued most of the time lately. You mentioned that you're feeling ill because you're not sure how else to explain those feelings to someone else and say that you aren't sure you can make it tonight. There's a second silence over your phone and you swear the sound of your partner's face fall. She tries to convince you anyway. You haven't seen her this week and it sounds pretty consistent. You come over. She even drops a few suggestively worded hints that you can stay with them over. I would probably go. You agree to go even though you're not feeling social. You know it's important now. So you really like to see her. Seeing her does not. And you hope the case is tonight and means dealing with all the usual social anxiety. Time to leave rolls on. You can grab your overnight bag. Alex's apartment is a short walk away and there are people hanging out on the porch. You feel your chest tighten as you approach the building and try to steal on your nerves. You quickly find your partner chatting away with the birthday girl, and Alex immediately lightens up when she sees you. I'm so happy you came. Yay! I wasn't sure if you were going to make it. Oh, Jeffrey, I'm happy you're here. A young man taps her on the shoulder and she turns back to you to apologize and let you know they have something for the party. Alex hands you a beer and plants a kiss on your cheek before going to deal with whatever came up. As you look around, you don't see anyone else you recognize. Awkwardly stand in the same spot of show you what else to do. Yeah, that works. Put your bag in Alex's room and avoid the crowd in there for a while. Cling to the back wall, sip your beer and wait for your girlfriend to return. Proceed to drink in earnest, hoping it makes you less uncomfortable. I would probably do this. As Alex leaves, you are not quite sure what to do with yourself, standing in the middle. Why the fuck does this feel like the fucking R.L. Stine fucking books from back in the day when they tell you to flip the fucking page 2 or 3 or whatever the fuck? I don't fucking know. As Alex leaves, you are not quite sure what to do with yourself. Standing in the middle of the room feels you feeling kind of exposed. You don't feel ballsy enough to randomly approach any of the groups clustered together talking. You head to a clear spot on the back wall and lean against it. For some reason, this feels a lot more secure. You scan the party for a familiar face or any sign of your partner. And came up with nothing, not sure what else to do, and worrying that you must look creepy just standing there watching everyone. You take out your phone to busy yourself. 20 semi-tedious games of Bejeweled. Oh well, you're fucking dumb playing Bejeweled. Your partner returns. You spend the rest of your night with Alex, occasionally being introduced to people and nodding along with a group of covered faces, even if you don't participate that much. Fuck, this game makes me want to fucking kill myself. At the end of the night, as you're falling asleep with your girlfriend in the crook of your arm, she thanks you again for coming, half drunk. She confides that she thought you were going to flake out and was pleasantly surprised that you managed to come out. She says you love the lady, but you're not quite sure how you feel about this statement. This game got good reviews. It's a little afternoon on a muggy... How long is this fucking thing? Is it a fucking novel? If I wanted to read a book, I'd pick up a fucking book! Your mother has come over for a surprise visit, claiming loudly she doesn't see you enough, so she decided to invite herself over. As you converse, she walks around your place, and you get the distinct impression that you're being inspected. So what's going on with you lately? She asks abruptly, taking somewhat aback by the left fielder. You tell her you're sure not what that means. She repeats the question, saying that you haven't seemed like yourself lately. She gestures to the dirty dish pot on the sink and notes the fact that you haven't called a visitor in a while. Yo, use words people can fucking understand, damn it! No one knows what fucking reticence means! You son of a fucking bitch! Only seems to spur her on more. She presses you, asking if you're having problems at work or with Alex, and you're beginning to feel increasingly battered by her sudden, well-meaning but overwhelming inquisition. The Inquisition! Let's begin. Alright. Under her questions, you become extremely uncomfortable. You want to be able to explain to her how you've been feeling, but the truth is you're not really sure yourself. Nothing horrific has happened at work with your significant other or friends or anything like that, but all the same, you can't deny that lately you've just felt drained, and as through you're not really here. You wish you could tell your mother these things, but she seemed approachable about negative emotions in the past. She's the kind of person who holds the opinion that the solution to any problems is simply try harder and maintain a positive attitude, a stance that reared its head in past conversations that you've planned to explore. You know she's unlikely to be understanding. You feel the energy drain out of you when you imagine what would happen if you managed everything out you're feeling. What do? Honesty is always the best policy, right? Let's do that. Oh, sorry, I fell asleep. I'm fucking bored to death. Good show on HBO, by the way. I'd rather be watching that. You attempt to tell your mother how you're feeling despite initial misgivings that you have about doing so. Finding the right words for how your feelings, like trying to untangle Christmas lights, searching for the dead bulb in the cluttered mess. Your analogy sucked right there. She watches you intently and audibly sighs before you can clearly articulate anything. Unfortunately, she reacts predictably. An attitude like that won't get you anywhere. You need to work harder at getting at what you want. Instead of sitting around feeling sad about it, nothing good will happen unless you make it happen. She is in angry or spiteful. She tells you this. You try to explain it's not a matter of that. But you can tell that you're not getting anywhere. The frustration chokes the words in your throat, and you give up trying to push the subject further. You know she's given you the advice that makes sense to her and genuinely wants the best for you. However, she doesn't understand that it's not as simple as someone deciding to be positive or work harder. It's those things aren't viable options because of these feelings. You accept your defeat in conversation, drifts into other subjects. She leaves after chiding you to call her more often and take better care of yourself. You sigh heavily as you close the door behind her. Spend the next few hours laying in bed, staring at the ceiling. It's a lazy Sunday morning. You are idly clicking around as your phone rings. Sam, a co-worker of yours that you're friendly with, asks how you are and makes hurried small talk with you. You typically only ever talk to him on the phone when one of you needs a shift covered. So it's slightly awkward. You're waiting in anticipation for him to ask you to come in on short notice. He veers a completely different direction. How do you feel about Cass? He said. Mine had kids a few weeks ago and I'm having an awful hard time finding a home for the last one in the litter. You don't have any pets, right? It takes you a moment to process this new information and you're caught off guard. as he begins to earnestly try to sell you on the idea of taking the last kitten off his heads. It's not something you had specifically considered before, and he seems fairly insistent. She's a real sweetheart, really loves people. She's got all her shots already taken care of. And the vet says she's healthy as a horse. I can bring her over by your place tonight if you're interested. You look around your apartment and try to picture a cat. And then as he continues to tell you about how cute she is, you tell him that this is all kind of sudden and that you don't have anything for the kitten set up here. Oh, don't worry about that. I can bring over a litter box and food and all that since you'd really be helping me out of a fix. It's the least I can do. I just don't want to have to put her in a shelter. You can't help but feeling like you're being guilt-tripped, but you decide to give it serious consideration. It does get awfully lonely around your apartment, and it might feel less empty with a cat around. However, since you've been feeling so down, it might not be a good idea to take on the responsibility of a cat, even if they are fairly low maintenance. What do? I don't know. I gotta think about that for a second. I really don't like cats all that much, to be honest with you guys. So, I don't know. I mean, I could spam the internet with cat pictures if I wanted to. Let's decline this asshole. I'm sorry, I just can't right now. I hope you find a good home for her. You sit through a few more sales pitch statements that border on guilt trips and rebut them with a fabricated excuses about your landlord not allowing pets before your coworker gives up and takes you anyway. You wish him luck in finding a home for her, and as you hang up, you feel pangs of guilt as you imagine having to put her in a shelter. You wonder if the chance of a kitten ending with a shelter was worse than your chance of being unable to care for an animal, and you feel pretty awful about yourself regardless. Your apartment's emptiness feels a lot more palpable suddenly, and you wonder if you could pull it off. You consider getting a pet in the future about more careful consideration and preparation. Next day at work, you run into a coworker and he breathes a sigh that he was able to find a good home for the kitten. She's probably way better off than she would be with me. Oh my fucking god. It's Friday again. It's late Friday afternoon and quitting time is just around the corner. A bright, clear day is giving you a still, temperate evening. You can hear your coworkers all around you anxiously making plans for your weekends. But you're still looking forward to just going home and resting after what's turned out to be a very long and taxing work week. Just before the end of your shift, you get a call from Alex. It seems a group of your mutual friends are heading out to a nearby pub for dinner and drinks to celebrate the end of the week, and they want to know if you'd like to come along. You tentatively tell her that you're emotionally exhausted from the work week, and a social outing like that would just take too much out of you today. You encourage her to go and have a good time since you know it's been a while since she's gone out with friends, but the effort feels futile since you know that she isn't going without you. A couple hours later, the two of yourself find yourselves in a familiar position on the couch watching comedy shows on Netflix. A box of pizza open on the coffee table in front of you. As you look across the couch at her, you start to feel anxious. You feel bad about effectively forcing the two of you to stay in tonight. While you're always appreciative of your partner's efforts to take your feelings into account and help make sure you're socially comfortable, you sincerely worry that you're holding her back from enjoying a more fulfilling relationship. While she does seem to enjoy spending time with you, almost content in silence watching all shows you've seen 2 or 3 times before, your ever-increasing fear that your relationship is becoming one-sided weighs more and more heavily on you. Fuck, I need a beer after fucking playing this game. You feel more than ever like a burden or a ward to her, and it's virtually impossible for you to see what value could possibly weigh more and more heavily on you. You feel more than ever like a burden or a ward to her, and it's virtually impossible for you to see what value could possibly offer to her in return. Worst of all, this nagging fear has made you more self-conscious ever, withdrawing ever inwards, and you've started to pull away from Alex herself. What do? This one. Oh, Netflix. Fucking assholes. Should've got Amazon Prime. Netflix sucks! You look over at Alex and notice who notices you watching her, who hasn't noticed you watching her yet, and you try to parse the expression on her face. You worry that it's one of sheer boredom and bare tolerance. You wonder if she's thinking about all the fun things she could have been doing tonight if she wasn't trapped on this couch with you, ordering from one of the same 3 takeout places that you always order from. A sense of disappointing her creeps over you as you picture what the night could have been if you accepted the invitation she made earlier. I know it's a pretty boring Friday night. Are you really happy being with me, Liz? She turns to you, forehead. Why do you ask me that so often? You feel her body stiffen and pull away from yours just a little. Well, I mean, you start, but you're not even thinking how to answer. I know it's not what you usually be up to. I don't know, I guess I get kind of worried that you're getting bored sometimes. 3. I know it's not what you usually be up to. What do you mean by that? I just mean, you usually like going out and doing things, partying stuff. She sighs and falls against the couch. It's not like I want to do those things all the time. I like nights in too, just like everyone else. She turns to you, frustration wearing on her face. Sometimes I swear it feels like you don't know me at all. It's not that I just... Her voice trails off, and you notice that she has an exasperated look on your face that you've seen once or twice when you have conversations like this. Conversations where you're poorly expressing your own self-doubt and insecurities, seeking reassurance, but really feeling like you're making things worse. She sighs again, this time louder, turning towards the flickering screen. I like spending time with you, okay? If I didn't, I wouldn't be here. The annoyed tone in her voice makes you think otherwise. Feel badly for upsetting things. Fuck! This game. Right now. Oh, coffee. I don't like coffee. It's a breezy Sunday afternoon. You've allowed Amanda, an old friend from school, that's been in town for the weekend, to talk you into leaving the house for coffee and catch up. You meet her in a small cafe and talk about what you've been up to since you've last seen each other, and you can't help but feel like they're a lot more accomplished and interesting, and you're listening to them talk about their life in school. When it's your turn to brief them on your activities, you feel anxious and ashamed and gives you a very abbreviated version. You try to talk about your job as little as possible, and you feel incredibly boring while you describe it, despite her expressing sincere concern in you and your life. Amanda has known you long enough to read your mood and tone of voice. She leads while gently touching your hand, a look of genuine concern at first. What's wrong? Do you insist that nothing is wrong and change this up? Notice that your hands are shaking. Why not? It's such a small question, but it feels like a blow to the gut. You surprise yourself when you realize that your tightly clenched wrists are beginning to shake slightly. Despite your best efforts, you feel tears begin to sting at your eyes. You try to disguise this by tilting your head up and praying that they'll suck back in. She suggests that you two get out of here, and you feel mortified. She offers to go back to your apartment with you, but the two of you end up talking in her car for 2 hours as the words just pour forth from you. Amanda seems unsure what to say at times, but she listens and rubs your back as you sob and talk. She asks if you've gone to a doctor about this, and you admit that you haven't. She mentions that her mother is seeing a very good therapist in town and offers to ask her about it. You're not thrilled about the idea of going to them, less thrilled that Amanda might be telling someone about your problems, but she persists and tells you she'll email you the doctor's contact information later in the week. It's a glaringly sunny Monday, and one of the few days that your brother Malcolm is in town and free and long enough to actually see each other. You have a dental appointment that day, but you make plans for him to pick you up afterwards. Your appointment takes a little longer than expected because your dentist tells you that you started grinding your teeth in your sleep to a worrying degree. Given how nearly everything in your life has felt enormous and stressful lately, this doesn't come as a surprise to you. He suggests that you reduce your stress levels and fit you for a night guard. It feels awkward and too big for your mouth, and you feel embarrassed looking at your puff out face in the mirror with it. You finish up the appointment in a hurry and leave about a half an hour overdue for a meeting your always punctual brother in the parking lot. You finish up quickly as possible and leave the building, scan the parking lot for your brother's car, but you don't see his old Civic anywhere. You pass by a blue Camaro and jump as it beeps at you, causing you to jump in surprise. It takes you a moment to realize it, but it's Malcolm in the driver's seat. You hop in the passenger seat and compliment his new ride and mentions that it's a perk of a promotion he's recently obtained at work. He starts telling you about how much more money he's making, how his career is really taking off. Now he's starting to look at houses with his wife soon. You clutch the bag containing the night guard in your hand. You feel yourself clench your teeth as a crummy apartment. How long it's been since you've been able to take a day off work without having to worry about ends meet. He's only 2 years older than you, but it feels like eons ahead of you in every aspect of your life. So he asks, how'd your appointment go? Did you get your drill? Did you get drilled full of holes in white? Or what? A sense of shame creeps over you. I always tell him the truth. Dennis said, apparently I'm grinding my teeth. Oh, the stressed out lately, kiddo. Deciding that you don't really want to go into it. You tell him that you don't think it's the case. It's probably just a random thing. He doesn't pry further, and instead begins reminiscing with you about the time you chipped the baby tooth because he accidentally knocked you over once. You go out for dinner and catch up on things, but you still feel somewhat distracted by the gnawing anxiety in the back of your mind. Though you enjoy your brother's company, you still feel like you want nothing more than to go home and hide from the world tonight. It becomes harder for you to enjoy, to try and stuff all your horrible feelings down and go emotionless when someone like the dentist can see a fraction of what goes inside your head. It leaves you feeling embarrassed and weak, and you hate yourself for feeling, You wonder if you're really fooling anyone and thinking you're a normal person. You wonder, hanging out on pain line. He drops you back off your phone. He's not car. Are you kidding? It's a dry Sunday morning. You grab your morning coffee, and sit down at your desk to check your email. A new message pops up in your inbox, and soon as you do, it's from Amanda. And you remember meeting in the cafe and bringing on feelings to her. Hey, buddy. Hey, sorry. It's been a few weeks. I meant to get to this sooner, but it took me a while to get a hold of my folks back home. Dad told me to say hi, by the way, anyway. I remember when you told me. But I asked my mom for the number for a therapist. Don't worry, I didn't tell who it was for. I think she's worried about me now, though. Haha. Anyway, the number is 64717. You know what? I'm curious. I want to call that number. Let's see who the fuck this is, really. And just be like, I got the wrong number. I'm going to put it on speaker. I'm actually dialing right now. Well,
welcome to Therapy Toronto. To speak to any therapist, please enter.
Oh, it's a therapy hotline. Shameless self-promotion for your therapist. Okay, it's a really good office. You look into it. Talking to someone never hurts. If you're worried about money, don't be. They're one of the few that has a really good sliding scale fee system and won't charge you what you can't afford. I hope you're feeling better. It was really nice to see you again. Hey, it's still early enough that you could call and make an appointment today. Sleep on it and see how you're feeling in the morning. You're not. Yeah, do that. The thought of picking up the phone and calling someone right about this right now is overwhelming. Sure, you're having a hard time lately and having motivation issues. Well, what if they put you on medication and makes you feel like a zombie? What if your therapist looks down on you? What will Alex think about this? Trying to think about all these things at once makes a very big deal. And you decide to take your time to think on it. The rest of the day passes quickly. And at night you have a hard time trying to sleep because your brain is too busy thinking about all these things and imagining all the things that go horribly wrong. The next morning you check your email again with blurry eyes. Amanda's email is still there. You're we'll call. You read through Amanda's email 2 or 3 times and sit in and stare at your computer while the memory of that uncomfortable conversation makes you feel newly embarrassed. The self-conscious part of you is also encouraged by the fact that she cared enough to get back to you at all. Sitting in front of the computer, you start to question things. Perhaps if you question her motives and validity of her concern, and whether or not you think seeing a therapist would even be helpful. Yet almost unconsciously you reach for your phone, and before you realize what's happening, you're listening to the therapist's line ring. Before you can bring yourself to hang up, you're listening to the slightly cynical but unpleasant voice of reception asking you, I'd like to make an appointment with the doctor. Glasses, porn, glasses, porn. The conversation is quick and not nearly as unpleasant as you were fearing, and quicker than you could say. Freudian slip. You scheduled an appointment. Quick appointment day rolls around. Head to the, even though you're telling you what to expect. You have your first session with your new therapist, Dr. Susan Melville, a tall woman in her mid-40s with a disarming demeanor and patient eyes. With the start of the slightest smile line, she makes you feel comfortable fairly easily. It was a pleasant surprise. And after all anxiety over the appointment, as you leave, you make a second move. You're still skeptical about all this, but figure you might as well see where this goes. The hardest part, it seems, was taking the first step. You're still not sure if you're going to tell your family or partner. You figure out how to deal with that when the time comes. Either way, you're still feeling over it, even if nothing comes in. Fuck! It is early on a Wednesday morning. Lately, you've decided a nasty habit of waking 10 to 20 minutes before your alarm rings, and unfortunately today is no exception. You lay in bed. Each minute takes closer and closer to wake up time and pass on a swelling wave of ever-encroaching dread. Sooner than you would like, your alarm blares with caustic inevitability. You frantically pound the snooze button and then retreat under your blankets as if the warmth of your comforter can shield you from the passage of time. You almost have difficulty rising from bed today. That's simple, Herculean. After several snooze cycles, you decide to go to work, stupid. In spite of the ability to fighting at literally every step of the way, you somehow manage to drag yourself out of bed and make your way into work. Surprisingly, you end up only being 5 minutes late, and nobody seems to notice occur, though when you woke up the simple act of being physically present in your job, something seems like an impossibility. You are surprised at your own ability to pass on through the day. While you're far from enjoying, or indeed ever really incompetent, you seem to have slipped in a trance-like state of automation, and time is nevertheless passing. Eventually the day, and you head home utterly exhausted, but at the same time almost proud of yourself for having stuck it out. It's 2 a.m. on a Sunday and you have work in the morning. You've been trying to fall asleep for over 3 hours now, no avail. Every time your head hits the pillow, you're overcome with anxious thoughts. So you wrap yourself around. Your thoughts run too fast. Your room is feeling silent. Silence is giving way in a long static noise. Rattling inside around your heart beats loudly and worrying a little bit too fast. You're worrying if you focus too strongly on your racing heart, you'll freak. You have to be awake for work in a mere 8 hours. And you know that your work is so much worse on only a few hours sleep. How fucking long do you have to fucking sleep for?
For real? 8 fucking hours is not enough fucking time? Take a fucking Xanax, pound the fucking booze, and go pass the fuck out. I thought this game was supposed to help you like understand depression. It was one of the reasons why I was open to playing it. But as far as I know, this game is not helping me to understand shit. It's not allowing me to empathize with the character. As far as what I know, she has her own apartment. Or I think it's a dude, right? He has his own fucking apartment. He has a job that helps him pay the bills. He has a pretty cool fucking girlfriend. What the fuck is he sad about? Go to your computer. Sleep is clearly not happening no matter how long you lay here. It seems like he has a family that cares about him. I just don't fucking get, like, nothing's bothering you. I mean, I'm really trying to understand this fucking game. Like, how is it supposed to help me? You're supposed to feel empathetic towards the character, right? Go to your computer, sleep is not clearly happening, no matter how long you lay here. You get out of bed, head your desk, laying in bed with nothing but your thoughts to keep your company. It makes you feel like you're going insane, the harshness of the light. Despite how often you've been in a situation, there have been so many nights exactly like this. You begin reading a news story, an online friend of yours eyes you're up late again, I see. Yeah, can't sleep. You, again, thinking too much again. Thinking, you guessed it. Sad face. Want to talk about it? His online handle is Attic. Your online handle is fucking Attic. Attic? Like a room in a house attic? You're fucking kidding me, right? You end up talking with Attic for quite some time about how you've been feeling. He's always been easy to talk to about personal matters, and the added security of talking online helps. Being able to rethink what you say as you type it out and check it before you send it out helps you gather your thoughts, and you find it less intimidating in a way to type it all into a prompt and say it out loud. I don't want to be that guy who thinks they can diagnose someone because I read a Wikipedia article, but it kind of sounds like you might have depression. You should talk to someone about that, like a doctor. You pause. Are you really that transparent, or has gotten used to talking about your feelings at this point? Your insomnia makes you a little paranoid, but you shake it off. We could do some research to see the good doctor near you. It's not like you're going back to sleep anytime soon anyway. Might as well do something while you're awake. Attic. You, no, that's okay. You, actually, I've talked to someone about it. You're very depressed. You spend a large amount of time sleeping here. Attic, oh, okay, I'm glad you're taking a step. I know. I've heard that it's not an easy one. I know people kind of suck at understanding this sort of stuff sometimes, but there's nothing wrong with having depression. You wouldn't be ashamed to have bronchitis or something, so there's no reason to be ashamed if it's your brain that's sick instead. You spend a few more minutes talking with Attic about your therapy and feelings about it. You're pretty supportive, and you're happy to find that you have a confidant that understands your illness when you're having nights like this. A little while later, you find it easier to just even in therapy. You know you're still gonna have nights like this sometimes. It's good to know and carry through them. Yeah. It's a chilly Tuesday, and you just got home from work. This has one felt like a recent memory, even though nothing exceptional had happened at top of mind. Things kept going wrong. Coworkers had tried your patience throughout the day. You considered leaving work early. The last thing you wanted to do was deal with your insufferable boss on top of everything else. You're lost in thought on the commute home, and your feelings of frustration both with your life and the world around you build as you run into minor annoyances like someone bumping into you really hard as they walk by. By the time you get home, you're exhausted and remember that these feelings were ones you identified as a negative feedback loop with your therapist. These pent-up feelings aren't dying down and are eating at you. You open a front door and stare at your apartment. An overwhelming Feeling exhaustion overcomes you and you feel like your energy levels are low enough that you likely settle into a signal activity. What do? Reach out to someone close to you. Why not? Your head feels too noisy and actually can't. It was important to reach out to your support network, minus girlfriend. You dial Alex, who picks up on. You ask her if she has time to talk until she's just hanging around her PJs and actually someone bored for once doing the make one curse word. Try to figure out where to start with how you're feeling and are overcome when missing her face. You ask if you feel like grabbing you barely know it. And you notice her barely Kane's the light on the other end. You meet about a half hour in an expensive diner not far from your apartment. While the food is not great, you're surprised about how much your mood seems elevated. Just being a company while fresh and you share listening intently to you. After winding down with a beer, you cautiously open up a little bit more about your feelings surrounding your job and how draining it leaves you feeling. How you feel you're simply existing, selling days of your life for no real purpose. You surprise even yourself when you start talking about how frustrated and stymied you feel by your job. About how you used to feel passionately about things. You feel like all your energy and capacity for creativity. Diner booth. Long after you have feeling cleared, and waitress stops refilling your coffee cups as you get up to leave. A sudden wave of self-consciousness washes over you, and you suddenly feel incredibly awkward. Then Alex stands up and grabs you tightly around your waist. You realize that short of boring you, whereas she's simply happy to have you spend real time with you. It's an utterly nondescript Wednesday after. How much longer is this fucking game? It's not even a fucking game. It's a fucking novel, and it fucking sucks, and it fucking blows. It's an utterly nondescript. The type of afternoon that would completely fade from memory unless one made an active effort to preserve it. As has become routine on Wednesdays, you're sitting on a couch in Dr. Melville's. She begins the session by breaking her therapist's silence and begins speaking up right away. I wanted to think it's great you decided I'm sorry, first step. I want you to see the medication. The mention of heart rate. She can farm sign, which would be very helpful. Club. I would prefer it if we just kept talking. You should monitor your process and just as needed, but the choice is ultimately yours. I just wanted to run the option and gauge what you thought the matter might be. The mere mention of medication makes you stiffen uneasily. It was hard enough for you to work up the nerve to come to therapy, but the thought of introducing an equation drug that literally freaks you out. For holidays, one of the handful of times during the year driving home to randomly gone to school with around town, whenever bumping into them. The usual short version of what I have done, so graduating or exchange. You had much larger plans. You failed to manifest most of them. Even if you had managed to, you largely lost interest in what you thought you wanted to do growing up. Your parents haven't seen them during dinner. They all catch up about everything you've done. Your mother turns to you and asks, "Seen it? Oh, same old, same old." You say, "Nothing new really going on." Your mother makes a face. "Oh, nothing new. How long have you been planning this job yours?" What do you say? Admit that you don't know what you want to do. Actually, I'm not really sure what I want to do. Your mom puts down, so you're planning on how long before the house on a paycheck. What about kids? It's okay, I'll let the kids be what they are. There's nothing wrong with not knowing what you want to do in your 20s. I didn't get into instructions until 40. Your mother looks around and says, "Husband, I don't think it's normal for someone age how to hit the path. Mom, come on, Malcolm, and fuck! It's a rainy night. You are hurrying through the rain to Alex's apartment at her behest. Through the pace is quick, the rain is steadily soaking up your pant legs as you traverse through the town. You're already poor mood. The call came in, trying to get frustrated, have a hard time, repeat loops, you knock on her door and throw. Okay, your incredibly hot girlfriend basically throws herself at your feet and you're not gonna fuck her? Try to unwind with her before getting physical. You fucking tool. You look at her standing barely lit and notice a few candles scattered around the apartment. It occurs to you that she has tried to make this night special. However, you just put it in your shift gears before this even. What should we toast to? To tonight. The two of you cheers and. It's an early winter evening, and even though it's not particularly the time of year has lent the sky to dark and cast day after day, just like today, you trudge home from a job you come to hate. On this day, your job misery seems to reach critical mass, and not even shedding your rain-laden and uncomfortable work clothes helps you to unwind from your workday, your class, and your couch blanket normal. Your job always seems to be an unpleasant reality of existence. This position you sort of fell into unexpectedly, never intending to work there long term, and it's getting harder and harder to keep up. But certainly not your dream job, and you always sort of stuck to it out of necessity before anything to do, even though. Aimlessly look through classifieds for another job. You boot up your computer and navigate local Craigslist. You sift through a myriad of legitimate postings, clear pyramid scams, and the occasionally missed categories random personal ad. You look through the section that is aligned with your current job and start feeling a little bit when things are simply doing the same thing somewhere else. Mail your really feelings, cover letters, and various things. After you exhaust them, posting the last few days, you get back on the main page and second online project you've been doing. So it's highly competitive, creative feeling that you don't feel remote. Despite that, you click on meaningful display and feeling. It's a little past 8 a.m. on a Tuesday night. You're at the computer for. You slide your hands off your line and beeps. Hey, are you there? We need to talk about something. Answer. I might as well answer him. Hey, what's up? It's yet another sleepless Thursday night. You're at out. Sleepy. She fell asleep hours ago and you're laying here unable. She around. I'm just gonna paraphrase from now on because this game is beginning to fucking really piss me the fuck off. Zoe Quinn, you fucking suck. It's clearly evident that you blew dick to fucking get good reviews on this game. Because this game, you missed the whole fucking mark of what your intention was. It doesn't help you to understand the Preston. It really doesn't. You didn't make this fucking character relatable at a fucking all. In fact, you made his life too fucking perfect. I don't know if that was the fucking point or not. I don't understand why the fucking guy is depressed. I have no clue what the fuck's going on. Why does he fucking feel like this? I kind of read that whole thing when I went through that rant. Tell her about your situation. Feel like a jerk for accidentally waking up. Woke her up, okay? No, actually, everything isn't okay. Can I tell you something so important? Alex sits up. Yeah, I'm just. Fuck this. Alex sits up. For the rest of your night, you lay side by side, holding hands, and you tell her everything. You tell her how it's more than just feeling sad sometimes after laying. So how can I help? What do you need me to do? You think I honestly don't know. I wish I knew how to fix this. I don't know how to do anything. The thing is, I just have to live with it, and I'll live with it with you. I don't know how you could possibly love me. don't need to. Just know that I do. Friday night, fucking Netflix again. Should have got Amazon Prime. Netflix fucking sucks. Feeling antisocial and put on the spot, you decline, you haven't had any feeling. Finally, your brain has begun telling you how pathetic and sad you are for being unable to just be a normal person and go out with nice people. You can't figure out why you just go. I mean, at the same time, what do? See if Addict's in. You sit down at your computer and Addict is indeed online. Two of you catch up briefly. You start passing links to news stories, and eventually, when you start to download, realizing you can tell him that you saw him in the kitchen. It's a cold Saturday afternoon. We finally see a week of absence due to your schedules not lining up due to work and school. You hug Aaron in the doorway and she breaks away and take over. Something I was hoping we could talk about, actually. You instantly went by a conversation and silence, which puts you at ease. It's nothing bad, I promise. So I hope this doesn't freak you out and feel like things are going too fast. Just tell me. We seem to have a lot of weeks like this and they really suck. I was thinking I asked, what are your thoughts on maybe moving in together? Do you want to? Well, yeah, I do. I mean, we just take care of. It's always you are really worried if Alex didn't live with you during days maybe get a better night. Well, wait till fuck you. Zoe Quinn, fuck you for real. You made a shit game. And that should be your only crime against humanity. I understand it's not to be taken as a fucking game. So, well. You never really thought of yourself as a fighter. Alright, we're at the fucking end, hopefully. And even it sounds hokey, but looking back on the past few months to where you are now, it really does feel like you've entered an immense struggle. And you look at where you're now with a sense of something that isn't quite pride. You still hate your job and find it unpleasant. You're starting to find it it's no longer a monument of change. You're starting to cleverly take a short 10 minutes for every hour to make break up the monotony. And you now feel your job is just short 8 hours every day. Compartmentalized documented actually works quite well. You know what his job is when, and you've started actively every attended a couple of preliminary interviews. You started making an effort to go out with friends more with the social esteem, and you're more and more able to just let in company of friends. In fact, your relationship has increased over the past little while. By far the biggest change you know in the relationship. You were terrified of talking to her about everything at first, but yeah.